Pure Storage presents Data Platform for the AI Era, powered by CNBC TV18.
Hello and welcome to our special presentation titled Data Platform for the AI Era. I'm your host Gautam Srinivasan, and to set the context, we are in the midst of an AI revolution that is enabling enterprises of all shapes and sizes to unlock value in new and imaginative ways. But if data is the new oil, then storing, scaling, and securing it effectively becomes paramount for these companies of the variety of sectors. So the big question is, how do you do more with less? How do you leverage data in service of outcomes? Well, to find out the answer, let's learn from the journey of an IT pioneer that is providing some of the world's most advanced data storage technology and platforms and services to empower customers. And we have with us a special guest to answer all of our questions. I'm joined by Ajay Motaganahalli, who's the India R&D MD and VP of Engineering, and he'll be sharing some lessons in excellence with us. Ajay, great to meet you.
Thanks for having you, Gautam.
All right, let's take this conversation forward as we walk along. Now, when I look at the story of Pure Storage, it was born ready in a flash world, so to say, because when we look at flash storage technology, you are having a higher bandwidth, lower latency, and all the benefits, plus you were unchained from legacy. So I want to understand more about the origin story of your journey, and especially this bet on solid state storage for enterprise customers.
Our journey started in 2009. We were founded by John Colgrove, who is popularly known as Coz. He was a famous inventor in the Valley, and together with John Hayes, who was the former CTO of Yahoo. If you think of the era when we started the company, it was around 2009, 2010, when MLC or multi-level cell technology was becoming more prevalent, and you could see SSDs being used in, let's say, media devices. It was being used in laptops. So Coz thought maybe we should use something like this and scale it to enterprise. So that was the thought process. We already knew that flash was more reliable and definitely more performant, but what if we wrapped it in a fabric of simplicity so a 7-year-old could actually install the device and make it more easy for enterprises to adopt something like that? Add to that, give non-disruptive upgrades so enterprises don't have to have a downtime when they upgrade those devices. So it is with this philosophy of simplicity, of performance, that the storage was reimagined in this era. So that was the origin of the company.
So simplicity of performance, that's the reason for your success so far.
Absolutely.
Let's expand on a few of these talking points, because I want to know more about what is actually a data storage platform. How do you enable customers to store their data, scale it effectively, and of course, secure it effectively? If you can take the conversation there and tell us what you are doing different from your competitors in this regard.
What Pure is trying to do is put together our 4 key USPs together as we actually develop this platform. Firstly, we are looking at a unified operating system. So we have Purity operating system, which actually runs through consistently across our products to give a very consistent experience for the users in their operations. Secondly, we have what you call as the direct flash technology. A direct flash technology is vastly different from SSDs in that we eliminate layers of translation. So we eliminate a lot of memory that has to be consumed if you actually use SSDs. So direct flash gives us a unique advantage in making our products extremely simple and lesser number of parts. Thirdly, we have what you call as a Pure One managed layer that actually gives you a single pane of glass to all our products. So that helps you also drive some AI insights. It gives recommendations to users and makes it very simple to manage. And finally, we have what we call as the Evergreen One SaaS platform, which means you can consume storage as a service and consume storage as you grow without having to worry about ownership of the assets. So I would say all of these 4 coming together makes it a very robust platform play for us.
I want to touch upon AI now that you've mentioned it, and credit to Pure Storage because it identified that trend early on 6 years ago. So I believe you You work with over 100 customers in terms of addressing workloads, storage workloads, as they look at unlocking value from AI. So talk us through a bit of the use cases that you've delivered on, the kind of customers that you've worked with.
We believe that we have the most consistent and complete platform to support AI use cases. We are working with over 100 customers to address some of their AI workloads. In fact, our platform addresses use cases ranging from autonomous driving to manufacturing to genomics and to healthcare. So there are several use cases. So with that and with the simplicity and performance of Flash, we believe that we have the best platform today that can address the growing needs of AI. Recently, we announced a groundbreaking innovation that we actually launched last month at Accelerate. And this is about providing an AI Copilot to customers who are using our products, using which they will be able to ask questions to our product through the AI assistant and get answers back that can help them tune their products for performance and stay ahead of security threats.
Always available help desk for you.
Always available Copilot.
Copilot.
In addition, we recently launched the Evergreen One for AI Storage as a Service, which enables high-performance storage to be available for GPU processors. We are using some of that to gain the SuperFort certification for NVIDIA by the end of this year.
All right, lots of interesting developments happening, busy times for you as a leader. All right, I want to take the conversation also towards more focus on sustainability, because while the promise of AI is significant, balancing it with sustainability is also a key concern. How do you see the data storage industry helping India meeting its carbon neutral net zero target by 2070?
Energy conservation and carbon footprint, I mean, these are topics that have never been as relevant as they are today. With the proliferation of AI apps, GPUs, and things like that, there's a lot of power consumption that are anyway happening. There's proliferation of data anyway taking place because there is machine-generated data that's overtaking human-generated data. If you look at a typical rack, it consumes about 15 kilowatts of energy. The graphic processing units alone consume anywhere between 6 to 10 of those.
Oh, wow.
So there is a big responsibility on players like us to optimize the power consumed by other components, namely storage. So the beauty of DFM, as we call it, or direct flash storage, as we call it, is that we have no need to have translation layers. We are making our storage denser as we go forward. Recently, we have a storage in the form of a module that's as big as this.
All right.
That has about 75 terabytes.
Oh, wow.
By the end of the year, the same direct flash module will have something like 150 terabytes. And we are making it more and more dense, and next year it'll have 300. So if you can imagine, the same box that has a capacity of 4 petabytes today could hold 8 petabytes tomorrow for the same power consumption and the same space. By doing something like that, we are able to optimize on space and energy, thus reducing the carbon footprint.
Before I wrap up our conversation, I also want to get your sense of the fact that Pure Storage invests, I think, around 18 to 19% of its revenue back into R&D, back into innovation. So thoughts on that? And also from an India perspective, what's the influence that India has on Pure Storage's global product roadmap?
This is something that we are extremely proud about. The fact that Pure invests about 18 to 20% of their revenues into R&D, whereas our competition is at least 3 times less than that. And that's because Pure believes that there's a lot of innovation that's remaining in this roadmap. And we are constantly innovating. India is something, a story that we are all in on. Right? I think we came to India in 2022 and set up this R&D center, and with the sole purpose of tapping into the amazing talent that's in India. If you look at India and Bangalore in particular, the ecosystem here lends itself very well to the kind of technologies that we are actually building here. We have started off by incubating a couple of mainstream products in India. I think one of the things that we started off with was Portworx, which is our Kubernetes overlay or storage in the cloud, followed by FlashBlade, which is our flagship scale-out architecture product. that caters to blocks and files, with a substantial team in India that owns certain things that they're operating out of. We are also starting other teams that are front-end teams in India with a core development happening out of India. So that's basically the direction that the India Center is taking.
That explains why you're a magnet for talent and a great place to work as well.
Thank you. I think that's some of the things that we are very focused on. We've been awarded a great place to work this year, and we will continue this journey to provide world-class experience for talent that actually joins us. If you look at the location of where we are centered right in the center of Bangalore, which makes it easier for people to commute, because commute is one of those points that people are not very happy about from Bangalore perspective. So it's great talent, great location, and a great vision for this center.
It's not just simplicity for your customers, but it's simplicity for your employees.
You said it. I think that's a good way to put it. Thank you.
All right. We'll take a very short break on that note, but Ajay will stay with us, and we will be joined by Ramanujam Komanduri, who's the country manager for Pure Storage India, and we'll all get together to talk more about India-specific themes. Stay tuned.
Pure Storage presents Data Platform for the AI Era, powered by CNBC TV 18.
Welcome back to our special presentation titled Data Platform for the AI Era. I'm joined by Ajay, and also Ram is here with us to talk about, well, the growth drivers for Pure Storage in India, how it elevates employee experience, and of course, the vision for the way ahead. Gentlemen, great to have you back, Ajay. And Ram, thank you for joining in. Ram, let me come to you with the first question, which is when you look at the storage, enterprise storage market, India is expected to outpace its global peers over the next 5 years. So when we look at the storage market, the demand is going to substantially go up, especially when we talk about AI and storage workloads, expanding the way data is generated and consumed, changing. So in this context, how are you looking to capitalize on these trends and grow the market for you?
Yeah. So look, we are the largest digital economy and one of the fastest growing globally, right? And any digital economy, the foundation is obviously data. So how we handle and what we are able to achieve out of the data is actually going to be paramount for the success of all organizations, right? This coupled with the boom in the entire data center market growth which is happening in the country, along with our commitments to the Paris Convention and so on. These are the factors which are actually helping us grow enormously in the Indian market.
All right.
You know, in the AI driven world, right, the amount of data which is there, right, the accuracy of data and the ability of the organizations to do more with that data is what is going to be of immense value to them, right? And this is where we believe that our products, with our ability to do more in a very small footprint with very little of energy consumption, thus being more green in nature, this is what will actually help the organizations do more, right? And this is how we will help them in their AI journey also.
All right. I want you to expand on some of the talking points that you've mentioned, especially in terms of use cases, right? Because when Ajay spoke about it, he talked more about the simplicity aspect of how you are simplifying enterprise AI for customers. So I want you to kind of expand on your talking points there and talk about, say, the use cases that you're driving for your customers and how you are fast-tracking adoption of AI for your customers by making the entire process simple for them.
Yeah. So again, I go back to the the point where the building blocks of our technology, are simple and more importantly, they are evergreen, as we call them, into the future, right? So a customer who starts their journey with us today can continue that journey for a few years to come, and that's how our technology has been built. So they get to use some of the goodness of our technology going forward also, right? Specifically to the AI world, the question is, how do you deliver systems which can handle large volumes of data formats which possibly are going to be new in nature in the foreseeable future, and how they're going to be processed faster? Because at the end of the day, AI is all about getting a response very, very fast, right? The relevance of the response is based on the speed at which it is given. This is where our technology plays a huge role. The entire evergreen factor of our technology. We offer this as a service to our customers, so they can subscribe to this concept of evergreen and ensure that the platform, as we call it, right, is the advanced in right through the years for them.
So it's a flexible consumption model that you offer to customers. Are you seeing more traction from certain sectors versus others for what you offer?
See, this is something which has been lot of sectors are asking for it now, because clearly they are not able to foresee the volume of data which is going to come into them, right? So predictability is that much difficult, right? So what we offer is subscription to SLAs and SLOs to them. So we deliver an objective. For example, in the AI world, we are committing to deliver a response time to the GPUs at the front, and that I think is absolutely unique to us, right? So delivery of those SLAs and SLOs are what organizations are looking for, because at the end of the day, they are responsible to deliver the objective to their businesses, right? So how we enable them is what I think we are unique as an organization in the market in this particular area.
In fact, that's a pertinent point that you bring up, right? In terms of predicting storage needs, it's an ever evolving entity for customers, for enterprises, right? So in that context, flexibility is essential because you will be looking to constantly upgrade. So what's the value that Pure Storage brings to the table in terms of this flexibility aspect, where performance, density, and so on, many other factors are delivered in terms of value for your enterprise customers?
Yeah. So I just want to give you a couple of data points on this, right? With Flash especially, we are able to condense the footprint of customers enormously. To give you an example, we condensed the footprint in one of our enterprise customers by 14x. Okay, and we reduced their power usage by almost 80%. Okay, so the power bill actually collapsed to just 20% of what they were paying earlier. And in another instance, where a customer was not able to predict the growth in transactions, right, we were able to upgrade their systems on the fly during peak business hours, right? Now, these are advantages which our systems bring in. For example, we take the customer from one generation of a system to another generation, right? Keeping the same form factor, power consumption, and space consumption, right? So that's the uniqueness which we bring to the table for all the customers.
Ajay, let me get you to chime in, especially on this aspect on talent strategy, because Ram has explained to us the business prerogatives, and one of the prerogatives is also managing talent. And considering India's position in your global competence centers has strengthened considerably due to exceptional engineering, so on and so forth, how has Pure Storage positioned itself as an effective magnet for talent?
Just to give you an idea, we have 3 R&D centers today. Of course, we do have our headquarters in Santa Clara. We started Prague about 5 years ago, and we started India in 2022. The philosophy is that each of these centers will have charters, their own technical charters that they will cater to. They will be self-sufficient in the way that they groom and build talent, so that the dependency on other centers are not way too high. So we are looking at each of these centers to innovate, develop, and deliver world-class products. So the way we looked at it, let me give you an example of India. So when we started out here, we started out with the philosophy of hiring the senior-most technical talent in the ecosystem. And then we started hiring others so that we had a good base of senior talent that could mentor others. Next comes to leadership. We have the philosophy of having global leadership in all the development centers. For example, in India, you have me leading the software part of an independent product, which of course has teams reporting in from different geos like Prague and the US. Similarly, you have leaders in Prague who have teams in other places reporting to them. And of course, you have the headquarters.
It's cross-pollination.
It's definitely cross-pollination. It also actually tells you that we are hiring engineers in various geolocations who are of the same standard. An engineer in India or Prague is not any way different than the competence that an engineer in Santa Clara possesses, and vice versa.
Which is great. I mean, it's a borderless world, but there are still many challenges, right, Ajay? And let me focus on one when we look at talent, which is the lack of gender diversity when we talk about deep tech. So I want to know from your experience, from Pure Storage India's experience, on how it is addressing this challenge and how it's making the workplace a more inclusive environment.
In fact, when you talk about diversity, we believe that diverse teams deliver much higher and better results. If you look at macro numbers, if you step back and look at it, yes, there is great diversity in the ecosystem, especially in India. But we did a unique exercise of zooming in the segment that we operate, which is basically the deep tech segment that includes companies like us and other tech companies, other MNC tech companies that are out here. And we profiled the diversity in these companies on the technical ladder. So we actually commissioned a study that actually studied this and how this talent came to be by looking 20 years back from today at the pass out rates of the IITs and premier colleges from where we usually hire this talent, or even if they are laterals, they would have come from some of these colleges, and try to see if we are doing a fair share of that. What we find is that in deep tech, we have about 23% of diversity in this ecosystem amongst our peers. And it actually varies by levels. The newer levels or the junior levels are higher, and then it actually tapers to the top. The problem we see is not in terms of how you actually retain them at junior levels, but we see a tapering off at the senior level. So that's one of the problem areas. The second problem area we see is that in these premier engineering colleges, the pass out rate of women versus men is highly skewed. It's getting better, and that's a result of the admission rate in these colleges. So the two problems that we think that we need to solve are, one is retaining women at senior levels, which is critical. Secondly, look to adopt a few colleges to see how we can mentor women engineers so that they're ready to face interviews in deep tech companies like ours. So we're trying to address a situation that's very specific to the field that we are in.
Well, it's good to see tangible measures taking place to address this issue. And I'm hoping to see more Ada Lovelaces come out of the Indian enterprise tech ecosystem. And of course, growing the entire ecosystem for everyone in this borderless world. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this conversation. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And of course, the title of this presentation is Data Platform for the AI Era. And we've covered many talking points thanks to Ajay and Ram. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to our viewers as well for tuning in. Till next time, this is your host Gautam Srinivasan signing off. Have a great day.
Pure Storage presents Data Platform for the AI Era, powered by CNBC TV 18.